Welcome to U.S. Immigration TV. In this video, I will discuss common immigration scams and frauds, and this is coming mainly from the USCIS's website to provide a warning and for you to watch out so you are not cheated. Now, many people, both inside and outside the U.S., are desperate to achieve the American dream, which means a better life for themselves and their family, especially their children. And there are other people in the U.S. who have been out of status for many years, and they're separated from their family back home and dream of the day when they can once again be reunited with them in the U.S. Well, out of desperation, they may trust anyone who claims to have answers and solutions to their immigration problems. In fact, I have come across so many cases where immigration consultants or notarios have made many promises and guarantees, and then people put down their hard-earned money only to find out that they have been cheated and their situation has been made even worse by these immigration scams. Well, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS, has posted on its website several common immigration scams that you should be aware of so you are not taken advantage of in your quest to achieve the American dream. Some of the scams include job offer scams. They're companies that advertise in overseas newspapers and on other social media, offering a job in the U.S., and they will be your petitioner or your sponsor. USCIS warns that this may be a scam, especially if you're asked to pay money in order to receive the job offer. Rather than relying on a company's promises, check them out to make sure they are legitimate. I mean, you have the internet, you have Google. I've come across many cases where a person paid for the privilege of being sponsored, but when they arrive in the U.S., there's no job. Moreover, even if the job is legitimate, you're not allowed to work in the U.S. unless you have received your green card or work authorization or an employment-related visa that allows you to work for a particular employer, such as, let's say, an H-1B. Therefore, just because a company is petitioning you, you may not be allowed to work right away. Another scam is social media and website scams. Some fraudsters send emails, text messages, or have websites impersonating or claiming to be affiliated with the USCIS and trick you into applying for immigration benefits and, more importantly, spending your hard-earned money, most likely for an immigration benefit you're not entitled to. And I've seen many websites that really do look official, as though they are government websites. But make sure that that email address should end in .gov, not .com or .org. Like USCIS.com is not the official website. It's USCIS.gov. Another scam is soliciting you to make payments by phone or email. USCIS will never ask you to transfer money to an individual or some person. It also does not accept Western Union, MoneyGram, PayPal, Venmo, or gift cards as payment for immigration fees. Also, USCIS will never ask you to pay fees to a person over the phone or by email. You can pay some immigration fees online, but only if you pay through your USCIS online account and pay.gov. Another scam is paying money for connections or jumping in front of the line. There are some businesses and websites that pretend to be immigration experts or say they have special connections to the government. And they might also say or guarantee that you can get a visa, a green card, or work permit faster if you pay a fee to them. Only the USCIS or the embassy can determine whether to expedite your case or the processing. And really, there has to be a compelling and urgent reason to expedite, such as the petitioner is elderly or sickly, a child is aging out, and they're not qualified under the Child Status Protection Act. Also, be aware that even if a petition is expedited, you cannot receive your green card until the priority date is current per the monthly visa bulletin. Another scam is what I call ghost brides and grooms. Now, this particular ground is not mentioned on the USCIS website, but is one I have encountered many times. And that's where a person is promised only a work permit, but it's never clearly explained how the scam artist intends to obtain that work permit. People are told to sign blank forms and don't worry, everything's going to be fine. And soon, after receiving a work permit, to their horror, the person receives an interview notice and are told to bring their U.S. spouse with them. Well, what spouse? They may still be married to their original spouse. How can they have a U.S. citizen spouse if they're still married? Well, it turned out that the scam artist submitted paperwork to the USCIS, making it appear that the person was single and had married a U.S. citizen, such as providing a fake birth certificate for a U.S. citizen along with a fake marriage contract when that person has never existed. It is important to realize that filing for immigration benefits for which you're not entitled could constitute fraud, possibly making you ineligible for future legitimate immigration benefits, as USCIS will still have records of your fraudulent filings even if made by that scam artist. For example, if you filed a ghost bride or ghost groom petition and are now being petitioned by a real U.S. citizen whom you are in love with, and they do exist, that fraud may come back to haunt you. Now, in many cases in these situations, it could be argued that rather than you having committed fraud, you were a victim of fraud. We have done that many times in the past where somebody was duped by these immigration consultants charged with fraud, but we were successfully able to argue they had no intent to defraud. They didn't know what they were signing in terms of they were told only to sign blank forms, and the paperwork is all bogus with wrong information and things like that. And we were able to convince the USCIS there was no intent to deceive, they were a victim, no fraud was committed. Before applying for any immigration benefit that sounds too good to be true, I would strongly recommend that you consult with an immigration attorney who can evaluate whether the company or the immigration benefit is legitimate and whether you are eligible. In other words, just be careful. You've waited so long, you've dreamt so hard. Don't be cheated out of your hard-earned money by applying for immigration benefits that you're not entitled to. And I know that people are desperate, and when they hear good things or what they want to hear, they're trusting. I say be careful. And I hope you have found this video helpful and informative to you, or maybe to somebody you know that can benefit from the lessons I'm trying to provide on this channel. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, US Immigration TV, and I'll see you on the next video.